Hi, I'm Francesca James, the founder of the Great British Entrepreneur Awards and Community. The coronavirus pandemic has caused chaos for many UK businesses, yet the crisis does seem to have brought out the raw entrepreneur in some business owners and leaders. In this series, we're shining a spotlight on and speaking to the entrepreneurs behind businesses who have adopted a plan B or changed their business by pivoting to models to either still serve their customers or help the country in an entirely different way. So Peter, can you tell me about your business Employable pre-pandemic and what that looked like?
So Employable is a career management platform that helps people to identify, map and track their way into a new career. Pre-pandemic, we were just gearing up for our next investment round, actually, and gearing up to monetize at the same time. And then obviously that all went kaput. That was about 2 days before lockdown that we was all ready to go on that. So yeah, it was an interesting time, but basically our users are all career focused users. So we did concentrate on transitions to help people transition from one career to another, help people identify careers and then let them understand what they need to do to be able to break into those careers. And that's any circumstances from the forces and the military to the Ministry of Justice for ex-offenders, DWP, and then just normal people who are looking to transition.
And I mean, you must have had to make substantial changes to the business and put elements on pause. I mean, tell me about what that meant 2 days after supposed to be closing an investment round and lockdown happens. What changes have you made?
So the first thing we did was we, being military, I'm a strategist, that's how I work. We firstly knew that getting the investment over the line would be near on impossible, and it was, as a startup, you kind of leave it to the end of your runway, so you get the best valuation, or towards the end of your runway. That didn't happen, and nor did the monetization, because obviously businesses just stopped spending and stopped running in some cases. So we went to our existing shareholders, 300 of them, asked them to reinvest, gave them a really good deal, and they did. So we got nearly 6 figures, which, you know, was comfortable for us to get, you know, to the end of lockdown and beyond. That was the first stage. We then had to look at our model, essentially, and think about, on the back end of the pandemic, what people's spending habits are going to be like. And we run a B2B business, so for our app users it's completely free, and it always will be, but we make money from, you know, recruitment, but not the traditional recruitment way, more around employer branding. Now, before the pandemic, we were very much in an employees market where there were probably more jobs than active job seekers, which meant that people could be really choosy about the jobs that they apply for, and it was actually harder for the businesses. That's been flipped on its head now, where, you know, we could be looking at 3 million people unemployed with not that many jobs, which means it becomes an employer's market where they have the pick of the bunch. So we've had to look at what we deliver on an app to help, firstly, our users to you know, really harness their strengths and their skills to make themselves more competitive. But then we also took a good look at what we offer to businesses, and we actually had just decided just before the lockdown, completely by accident, that we would never charge any business of any size to post jobs on the Employable app. Kind of worked in our favour. But then we started noticing that there was some positive things happening within the app. So we were the #1 trending business app on Google Play throughout April. You know, not the circumstances that we would like, but it was something that we had to look at and understand, you know, what we deliver as an app. So the major changes that we've done really are to the monetization strategy, where we've now made it completely accessible for all businesses to be able to use the platform to recruit. And that's to help minimize the risk and hopefully boost job creation. And at the same time we've made some really big strategic partnerships to offer more to our app users that we don't do. So, some big partnerships when it comes to financial support, mental health support, just so that on the back end of the lockdown, if we do see a lot of redundancies and not many jobs, or not as many jobs, there's still things in the app that people can lean on and basically be signposted to people that can help them in certain circumstances. So whereas we were gearing up to fully monetize, and we thought the app was in a position what would deliver what it needed to deliver, obviously the circumstance changed so much that we realized we needed to deliver more to our users, essentially, and that's what we've done.
So you've made a lot of changes, and you're, I guess, reimagining what the new normal is going to look like. I guess it'd be interesting to look at. Do you think that Employable will change the way that it works and the way that it operates as we enter the new normal?
I'd like to think so. I mean, the way Employable is different because we're completely user-centric. So we built the platform around individuals so they could build their online profile. They can look at jobs and know how they fit as a percentage. We've got personality profiling coming soon, so people will know how they fit personally towards jobs. Now what I'm hoping to see is, yes, there are going to be a lot of redundancies made, but what I'd like to see is a sort of digital revolution, if you like, where businesses are starting to understand now that you don't necessarily need someone physically in the office, and it's become the new norm that we do everything online. So hopefully that broadens the horizons to leverage people not in the same area, which makes the talent pool that much bigger. And that's accessible for all businesses, as startups and bigger established companies. So I think we're going to see a lot of change there. And I also think with a partnership we're working on at the moment, a lot of businesses will start leveraging the gig economy, where they're looking for things to be done. They might not necessarily look at hiring. So I think we need to be aware of the growth in the gig economy. I think there's another thing that we need to be aware of, which is automation. Excuse me. So I think by 2030, it was projected that 800 million jobs would be displaced through automation. That's huge. That's like a fifth of the world's population, sixth of the world's population. I think that's going to be accelerated now. So I think businesses are going to look at, what if this happens again in 5 years? How do we reduce our overall staff costs? And it's going to create some real challenges. But at the same time, I think we're moving through quite rapidly in the background, and more of a sort of eco change. And this is really good news for us because it means that job creation in new markets is going to happen. So things like technology and engineering in wind and solar. So I think that actually there's a real big opportunity for people to transition out of jobs that might decline and into future jobs. And I think this is where Employable will play a key part.
So I think I know the answer, but are you optimistic about the future?
Yes, very.
Fantastic. Well, that was easy. Spoken like a true entrepreneur. Absolutely pleasure to speak to you, and wishing you every success for the future.